I've got something really cool to show you today. You're gonna notice I've got a really rusted tool here and I've got a really shiny one. This one started off just like this one, but using a fiber or an infrared laser, you can totally change that and you can absolutely reverse the aging process. Wouldn't we all love to do that? Another thing, this is a great thing that you can do as a side business with your laser. If you want to make a bit of extra money, you can clean people's old tools, you can restore old things, and you can have lots of fun doing it because it's really, really satisfying to watch. Stick with me, I'll show you exactly the full process and I'll walk you through everything, and then we'll see the results at the end actually happening in front of your eyes. Let's get straight to it, guys. Now you're probably asking yourself, what do I need to be able to carry out tool restoration and rust removal? Well, we have our tool. So the first thing you need is a rusty tool of some kind. Doesn't have to be a tool, it can be anything, but something that you need to obviously clean up. That's where we start. The next thing I would recommend is a cutting plate, and as you know, the xTool F1 Ultra and the F1, they both come with cutting plates, and I believe the newer ones do as well. You need those, and the reason I say that is because when we're doing the rust cleaning, we are going to be drawing a path around this, and we want to make sure we don't damage the bed underneath. Now the next optional thing that I would recommend getting is downloading yourself. This is off MakerWorld. I can put the link in the description below. This is a pre-filter because rust removal produces a lot of rust, vaporized rust, and ultimately you want to filter it to try and prolong the life of your AP2 if you've got one, or whatever other filter. If you're going straight outside, then you're all good. So this basically has a piece of mesh inside of it that I've cut out, a piece of filter, and it just slots into here like that, and it just gives it a first barrier of when you're doing it. Most importantly though, what you need is a fiber or an infrared laser, because that is the type of laser that is gonna remove the rust. The diode laser unfortunately won't do this. The diode laser will probably produce heat and mark the metal. We want to basically do a really quick sweep over this at a certain intensity to vaporize the rust, but not to mark the material. And there's a real art to it. And we will be using the F1 Ultra today because I'm going to be using it on a larger tool, but I have done it many times with the F1 and the F2, which is just out, and the F2 Ultra will also do a great job at this. Like I said, any fiber or infrared laser. So as you can see, my tool is actually too big, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 passes. But the first thing we wanna do is obviously focus that laser, join the 2 dots up so that the laser is the right focus length away from the top of that surface, and we've done that. We're now gonna move over to the software and we are gonna prepare our first pass. So let's get started. We're in xTool Studio. We're gonna click New Project in the top right. And as I said, I will be using the xTool F1 Ultra for this, and the camera will come in handy for what we're doing today. But as I also said, you can do this on the F1, the F2, the F2 Ultra, and pretty much any fiber or infrared laser. Let's click on the camera. I've already focused the laser off the top of it, as you saw. There we have our spanner, and it's pretty straight. I've done a good job of getting that straight there. Usually it's on about a 45-degree angle, even though I feel like I've got it straight. Right, so what we need to do then, we need to draw a shape around this. So there's a couple of ways you can go about doing this. You can just get the rectangle tool and drag a rectangle on it, as you can see there, and engrave like that. But the problem is it's going to be doing that the whole way down the spanner, and it's going to take twice as long because the laser path is traveling twice as much. What we are actually going to do is we are going to use the vector pen tool, and we're going to draw an outline around it as close as we can get to it as possible, so that our laser only travels in the area we need it to. I have done a video about these vector pen tools and I've got in great depth, so check out the tutorials for that. But let's get straight onto it. So on the left hand side here, you will see a section on the left. It'll probably be a line when you log in, or whichever the last is. At the bottom though, there is a vector pen tool, or letter P on the keyboard. What we will now do is draw, and like I said, I've got a tutorial showing you this. We're going to draw around the outside of our spanner, and I'm not going to do curves in this case. I'm going to do lots of little straight lines. But imagine this as ultimately what we are doing is we are drawing a fence around this item. And that fence is going to restrict the laser from going anywhere other than inside of it. That is ultimately what we're doing here. And that is what we need to do. When you're dealing with custom or unique shaped items, you need to ensure that the laser stays exactly where you need it to be. And that is why we would use something like this in this case. And let me just connect it. So we're drawing our line around it. We're joining it together, right clicking, selecting done. And then on the right here, we're going to click engrave. And now you'll see we have our perimeter, our fence drawn around our item. And this is going to do the first half of this spanner. Remember I said it's too long for us to do in one pass. So we're going to do it in 2 passes here. So we've got that. What we need to do now though is actually frame it and make sure it's good. So we'll do that, and then after that we're going to move on to the settings. So for the framing in this case, if you look to the bottom right, what we want is we want to click on the arrow and we want to select outline, because it's important for us to know that the actual unique shape we've drawn is actually going over the tool itself. So click on outline, click on frame, and we'll move over and I'll show you how it looks. You can see our line ends there, and if I try and line this up, either side of our spanner, the line is traveling well. And if we actually go to the head of the spanner, you'll see there, it is going around it. It's perfect. We are not overlapping anywhere. So that tells me when we actually scan it, the laser is purely going to travel the path. So let's get the material settings set up and we'll do our first pass. So there you go, we've checked the framing, we're happy with it. So the next thing we want to do is assign the material settings. And if you're using the F1 Ultra, you are more than welcome to use the settings I'm about to show you. They work really, really well. I have actually programmed it in here. So I'm going to click on the material section. I'm going to scroll down. You can see by the logo there, these are the materials I've made myself and added in here. I'm slowly but surely adding to it. But there is an F1 Ultra rust removal. I'm going to click apply. And I already have a predefined rust removal setting here. And you'll see on the right, it's the fiber. So that's important, fiber or IR, like I said at the start of the video. We're going to be going 90% power here. But to be honest with you, I often go about 60%. 90% and this speed works well, but you can go much less power if you need to. But we'll stick with these settings for now so I can show you them and you can see what they do. So 90 power, 1150 speed, 100 lines per centimeter, 30 kilohertz frequency. And now this is very important. You need to go into the advanced settings tab and make sure crosshatch is selected. If you don't know what crosshatch is, it's where the laser goes one direction and then once it's done one sweep going down, it will do a sweep in the opposite. So if it's going north to south, it will then go west to east. And that means it gets double the amount of laser in one pass. And also you're hitting it from different angles, which means you're not just getting straight lines, you're getting a nice finish on it. We can also change the engraving angle. I won't for this pass. I'll show you it straight down. On the second pass, we'll change it and then you can see the difference it makes. So let's click process. We'll see how long this takes. 1 minute 57, so it's very quick. We are about to begin. What I want to tell you guys is I am actually wearing this mask during this process. You don't need to do it, assuming you have this fully closed down and an extraction pulling away the actual particles. But if you don't have that and you have to have this up a little bit, I recommend wearing some kind of filtration mask with filters built into it to protect your lungs and to make sure you're not inhaling that vaporized rust. Very important. You can see our first sweep of that has come out and look at the difference that has made. You can keep putting more and more passes onto this if you need to actually make it get clearer. You'll find you do get some grease stains that you might have to clean up separately, but overall, look at that. So we need to do the other side now. So what we're going to do, and what I will say is sometimes, depending on how long it's been doing this and how powerful it is, this could get a little bit hot. So just try and ensure that you do a light touch on it first before you pick it up. So we're now going to do the same process, but to try and get this head done right here. And as you can see, it's really filthy. We'll see if we can get this one just as clean as that. And the important thing is, can we line it up to make sure it looks seamless? So we've just done our first pass. We're going to delete our previous image. We are going to update the image. And what we'll see now is the spanner has been flipped around and you should see part of it being clean. And then the head is going to be filthy. And we're now going to try and line this up as best we can to make sure it looks like a seamless sweep along the whole bit. If I zoom in on it here, so this line here is what I'm talking about. This is obviously gonna need to overlap slightly, But if we overlap it too much, this section might come out a bit uneven. So we'll try and get this as good as we can. So once again, we're going to go into the vector pen tool, and we are going to start off here, and I'm going to draw a line approximately like this, okay? But we'll do the framing in a minute to try and get that as close as we can. Then we'll draw around this like I showed you earlier, where we're going to literally just try and put a nice perimeter, a nice fence around it to allow us to get that clean. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that first pass was amazing. And every time I do rust removal, it blows me away because it's literally so transformative right in front of your eyes. And it also works with coins as well. If you've got old coins that are a bit kind of tarnished or rusted, if you get, I mean, on the F1 and the F2 are perfect for it because they're a bit smaller and they're a bit less powerful, which makes it that little bit easier to do it. So I would recommend definitely doing coins. So there you go. We have now drawn around this. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it to engrave. I'm going to select rust removal settings. And now this is the key part. We're going to frame this item. We're going to go back over and we're going to try and line it up so it looks like where it joins where we've previously just engraved on it. We're going to try and make that seamless. So let's do that. Here we have it. And as you can see, hopefully that's clear to you guys. It's pretty good. I mean, looking at that, I think it might be all right. We might have nailed that. And then around the head, there's no overlapping bits again. We are happy to move forward with that. So I don't know. I guess this is the point. If you were here, we'd be making bets if I get it right or not. Will it get it all? Let's find out, guys. So I'm going to end the framing. We've got our settings. We are going to click process. This one I expect to be quick. There's one thing I almost forgot there for you guys, and I wanted to show you now. So we've done, if we go into these engraving angles, a 0 degree engraving angle. So it's literally come down and gone across. Just to show you what kind of control you have over the laser, I'm going to set it to 45 degrees this time. So it's going to come down like that and then like that, okay? So we'll set it to 45 degree there, and we will then process it. We'll see if we get it right and let's see if it looks good, most importantly. So this one is saying 51 seconds. Let's do it. So as you can see, it's pretty good, but I'm going to do a second pass on this one just to see how it comes out. Here is the finish article, the moment of truth. How does it look? It looks blimmin' brilliant. Look at that. So as you can see, it has done such a great job. It's taken it from this to this. The seam line, I mean, you tell me, can you see it? Let me know in the comments. I can barely see anything. To be honest, I can't see anything. So let me know what you think about this process. Do you think you could make money doing this with the xTool, F1, F2, F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra? I personally think you could. There's so many people that have got great tools out there that need a bit of TLC, and a laser is a really quick, effective way of actually transforming it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like, please comment, and keep supporting me because I really, really appreciate it. And have a great day. I hope you learned something new.